Hey guys, Zach here, and we're back on the kitchen and bathroom remodel. We're in the bathroom right now, and today we're talking about the floor system again. I'm going to be working on raising this up so that we don't hit the plumbing and that we're able to have a nice floor system so that we can tile over it and it doesn't affect the rest of the bathroom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip some strips of 2x4 on the table saw, and we're going to nail them to the top of the floor joists on about 5 different joists here, and then we'll be able to cut a piece of plywood for this space and get this installed. Check it out. can see, this is what I was talking about. Padding up the floor, raising it up so it goes right over the plumbing. And then we can sheet that. All right, now I need to do 7 1-inch strips. Gotta pad out the wall.
Switch these doors around. I just did this one because it keeps wanting to close and bringing shit up.
Oh yeah, no worries, yeah.
Whatever way you want.
Yeah, that's fine. Jeez. Keep tripping the breaker. Hey guys, here on another cold morning, and like I said, we're going to be working on the headers. Got one of the headers in right there. That's an LVL. It's a laminated beam. It's basically a bunch of thin little strips laminated together, and they're extremely strong. Sometimes they chip off on the edges like that when you're trying to screw, but other than that, they're pretty great. Not cheap. I just want to show you what is going on with this beam. So this was one of the most concerning spots. Was obviously this beam is just barely sitting on here, and the notch that they did is pretty horrible. And I think the reason this is so bad is because the whole beam actually sags down over there. And so we lost about 1/2 inch, which brought the beam down 1/2 inch, which I think made this gap right here. I can show my finger right in there. So we're going to correct this, and I'm going to show you, you can barely see it, but I made a mark. Right there is going to be the bottom of my notch. And I'm going to notch this post out all the way up to here. This is all going to come out, and this is my logic behind it, is you're supposed to have something like this, like a king stud, and then a jack or a trimmer stud underneath. Now if you do the math, the thickness of a new 2x4 is 1.5 inches. And so the thickness of this old post is 3 inch. And where I live, you're supposed to, if you have a header that spans more than 4 feet, you're actually supposed to have 2 jack studs. This one's fine because it's under 3 feet, so we have 1 jack. Here, technically, I'm supposed to have 2 jack studs and then a king stud. But I couldn't close off this bay too much. As you can see, we have some venting going on in here. I pretty much needed this bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch this 1.5 inches. So then I'll have 1.5 inches of meat on the outside of the beam here, and I'll have 1.5 inches notched, and it'll sit on an inch and a half of this. And I think because this is going to be one solid post, it's not like separate pieces, I'm going to be able to get away with just having the single stud, technically single stud on this side. There's really nothing I can do about it at this point, so I'm hoping that I don't get called out on that. But I could technically on this side, if I wanted to. Well, I can't really now after the fact with the electrical there, but I'm going to have to do the same concept over here as well, is just notch it out and shove a new beam in there. And the way that I found that is I shot a laser. You can see this green line here. I shot this laser and just measured up from that laser to the lowest point, which was on this side is the lowest point. And so that's why my notch over here is actually going to be a little bit bigger or a little bit higher up, because I'm going to be re-leveling this out, and it's going to account for that drop that I was telling you about, that half-inch drop. All right, well, I'll show you how it looks once it gets notched. All right, guys, here we go. There's the big LVL in place. Gave me a little bit of a fight, but I was able to get it in there. Let's get a close up. See the notch I'm talking about? Sitting right on the notch there. And then we notched it for the top. And we got some cripple studs. I threw them underneath every ceiling joist there to support the load. And that will work out nice. We got that side the same thing. We're able to get this header in. See that? Same thing, supporting the floor joists. I'll take you over here into the bathroom. And I was even able to get this guy in. Just need to put the cripple studs up above there. Probably need 3 or 4 of them up there, but that'll be for another day. Show you this as well. Able to get the floor temporarily down in the shower, and the plumber, he was here yesterday, was able to get his plumbing locked in there and then notched in over there, and he reattached the mixing valve. We're still just waiting to get word on the if we need that other pressure valve or something. We'll do that another day. But something else that I was trying to get on top of. Hey, and here we got some fire stopping. We need to do this everywhere that there's a top plate or you have a bottom plate. Here we don't really have a bottom plate. It's more of like a joist, and the flooring runs right over it. But still same concept. You got to caulk the penetrations and make sure that it stops fire. So if fire comes roaring through this house and it goes into the stud bays here, it doesn't have a lot of oxygen while it's in the walls, and if we block those holes, then it gives it less oxygen, and so it can, whatever, maybe save even 60 seconds of a burn. That might give the chance for somebody to get out of the house with these small things that we're doing. Same here, we got some penetrations there. Fire stopped those. And you don't have to do anything on the horizontal. They say you don't have to, so we're not doing that. But then all the penetrations, just go around the room and make sure that you're filling all the holes that you find, even down low too. So we got a couple. I got around that gas fitting right there, and then around this electrical line there. Make sure you get all the penetrations. And here's like a fire block, I guess. This is more of like a block to hold something maybe on the other side of this wall. But same concept is you gotta not only fire stop those up there, but you're supposed to fire stop these as well. Anything that's gonna prevent the fire from traveling vertically up into other floors. And then even here, I just put this on. This was where an old appliance or something must have tied in to the chimney. And so I just shoved a 6-inch cap in there, fit right inside, and then I just did some fire stop caulk right around the outside there to prevent that, because the tape really wasn't sticking to it, so I couldn't do tape. But that's it for the day here. We did LVLs and some fire blocking, and hopefully this week we'll get the plumber's inspection finalized, which would be great, and then we can actually start closing some of the stuff in and move on to a different phase of this project. Hey guys, I'm down here in the basement, and I just wanted to show you this. This is the same chimney that's up in the kitchen that I just showed you where I put the cap on. As you can see down here, how many different things are tied into this. So we have one boiler there, our hot water tank, and then we have one hot water tank here. Then we also have a boiler tying into it on this side, and on this side we have another boiler tying into it. And I'm kind of concerned about this because the inspector might see this and say that too much exhaust is going into this chimney, and that I won't be able to exhaust my cooktop fan into this, and that'd be pretty bad, because then that's gonna make me have to do another roof penetration, whereas I already have 2 going in. This would be a 3rd one, and I really wanted to prevent doing that, because the less roof penetrations you have, the less point of failure, in my opinion. So we'll have to watch this and see what happens with this, but this could potentially be something that he calls us out on. Even the way that they did this really isn't the best. It isn't tied in very good, as you can see. Definitely some air is escaping back into here just from this. But we'll find out.